Hello, Galway. How's things? A lot of people drinking? Yeah? You know, I love it when you're drinking loads like beers, shots, whiskies, and your friends are like, Ryan, you need to slow down. And I'm like, you know what? That's rude. This is my car, okay? Yeah. My roommate's a real, like, adventure type, you know? He's got a little globe in his bedroom, and he'd spin that globe, and he'd throw a dart on it. And no matter where that dart lands, he would go, no, like, without any question. And last week, he drowned. Yeah. Now, I can't really say I had like a fairy tale childhood, but my sister and I did burn an old woman in an oven, okay? Yeah. Couple of Hansel and Gretel fans around, yeah. When my parents got divorced, I was in like a real bad place. I was in Cavan, okay? Yeah. I got quite badly bullied at school, you know? I got beaten, got my head flushed down the toilet, got my lunch money stolen. But like the most tragic part was I was homeschooled, you know? Yeah. I didn't even get the worst. They told my little brother that he was a mistake. Now that's a hard thing for any child to hear, but it's so much worse when you're adopted. Yeah. I've got a half brother now. He stood in a landmine, so you know yourself. Some people here are like, are they going to be all like this? Yes. This morning I walked in on my brother masturbating, and he was like, Ryan, put your dick away. Yeah. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, you know? It took me like 45 minutes into La La Land to realise it wasn't a sequel to the Teletubbies, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Jehovah's Witness kept banging on my front door this morning, and I was like, buddy, no how hard you knock, you're not getting out. I think it's real important to conquer your fears, you know? Like I was afraid of heights, went skydiving. Afraid of public speaking, started doing comedy. I was afraid of like needles, so I started doing heroin. I was afraid of snakes as well, so I started like hanging around with my girlfriend's mates a lot more, you know? My grandmother was German, okay? And back in the day, she was arrested for hiding Jewish people underneath her floorboards, right? And when I tell people this, they're like, geez, that's a real nice thing to do. It's a real, like, noble thing to do. But what they don't know is this happened in the 90s, so it's pretty... it's pretty messed up. My granddad's always like, right, you know, if I hadn't fought in the war, you'd all be speaking German, which made, like, no sense, because he was in the IRA. I do like my granddad. He's always full of little quotes, you know. The last day he was like, Ryan, you know, the youth of today rely way too heavily on technology. So I dismantled his stair lift. Literally drove him up the wall, you know. My brother's a virgin, okay? My brother's a virgin for, like, religious reasons, though, you know? Like, God made him so ugly. Like, honestly, the entire hospital got postnatal depression, you know? Like, if my brother ever went missing, I'd put his pictures in the back of, like, almond milk cartons, so he's never found, you know? I went to college. I know, shock horror. Went to college, didn't like it, you know? Like, every time I woke up, I'd have, like, a dick drawn on my forehead or something horrible written across my face, you know? And to most people, that sounds like normal lad behaviour, but, like, I lived alone, so... It's terrifying, you know? A lot of people always ask me where I get my sense of humour. It's actually from my father, you know? Some people think he's a little bit much. I think he's hilarious. Like, for example, my sister's lesbian, and every year, without fail, for Christmas, he buys her straighteners. Like, complete waste of money, very short hair. Now, my dad actually got sick a couple of years ago, okay? We found out that only 10% of the blood that was supposed to be going into his legs was going into his legs, you know? So we're all rushed to hospital, Galway hospital, actually, you know? Doctor sits my dad down and is like, Eugene, unless you stop smoking, we're going to have to cut off your legs. It's as simple as that. And my dad was like, surely if you want me to stop smoking, you should cut my arms off. Like, I don't know if you've laughed and cried at the same time. And we were told there was like a 50-50 chance he might not make the surgery, and they say are like maybe goodbyes, and that's a real hard thing to do because you don't want to like overcommit, and he comes back fine, and you're like, oh, awkward. Now he survived, right? But before the surgery, you know, he was saying his goodbye to my mother, my brother, and my sister. It's obviously one of the worst moments of my life, right? But when it came to me, and this is actually a direct quote, he was like, Ryan, do you remember all those times I called you an arsehole? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, I fucking meant it. Cheers, mate. Yeah. My girlfriend found out that she's never going to have kids if she keeps that haircut. I know a lot of you are looking at me like, wow, you're someone to talk, you know? This is called male pattern baldness, right? But pattern makes it sound like it might turn out good. I'm like, oh, let's hope this turns out floral, you know? Like, the barbers is the only place in the world where I have absolutely no confidence, because when I walk in, they're always like, oh, what are you looking for? And I'm like, help. I love it when they all get confident. They're like, Ryan, you know your hair's getting thin. And I'm like, it's not getting thin though, is it? It's falling out. There's a big difference. Like, if my brother came back from Vietnam with no legs, I wouldn't be like, oh, look who lost weight, you know? Thank you. I'm not great with women, you know? Do you ever catch eyes of a girl and smile and she's like, oh, why the hell are you under my bed? I was on Tinder, tried the online dating thing, you know? Matched with this girl and she was like, Ryan, why don't you come over to the house? And I was like, great, no problem. Went over, knocked on the door. She opened up the door and she was like 30 or 40 years older than her pictures. Now, I didn't want to be awkward about things, so I went through with it. And it was only afterwards I realised, wrong house. Yeah. Now, I'm not a one-night stand type of guy either, because it's really awkward in the morning because you're like, oh my God, what's her name? You know, where did we meet? What if she's Protestant? One Protestant in the crowd. Yeah. You ever use a Ouija board? Yeah. I like to play with Ouija boards, you know. I once used a Ouija board to contact my dead neighbour, and it didn't work, and eventually I was like, oh God, I better ring an ambulance at this stage. Yeah. Like, my grandmother died in her sleep, you know, surrounded by the family. It was lovely. We all took turns with the pillow. Yeah. I don't know what else to tell you guys. I came out of the closet and my dad confronted me. Was like, Ryan, you know, homosexuality is an abomination and you're going to burn in hell for all eternity. And I was real shocked at that because, like, I was just getting a jacket. You know. Yeah. And I think there's nothing more awkward in life, right? Than when you're watching like a sex scene and your parents are in the same room. Oh, I'm always like, oh, why did you film this, you know? Like, my parents were weird when it came to having sex. Like, they used to tie a sock on the doorknob, you know? So it would take me longer to get out of the room. I know. Tough times, eh? I was on a date once. I thought the best way to do it, like, this is a little bit out of left field, but do you ever see in movies when people disappear behind moving buses? You know, like the bus would go by and next thing they're gone. Nobody ever freaks out, you know? I thought that'd be like a real cool way to impress a girl at the end of a date. You know, I thought the only way I could do it would be like run alongside the bus, but like the bus was empty and she could just see my head running through the... Okay, Galway, thank you very much. You've been great. Thank you.